Kia ora, my name's Stevei Houkamau. I'm an oku artist. I live in Wellington. I whakapapa to Ngāti Parau, Te Whānau Apanoi and Rangitane. As a hand builder rather than a thrower, the forms that I predominantly work with are coiled forms, which are usually vessels, and also I work with slabs, so stretching out the clay and then placing it over body forms or other shapes that I find interesting. Parts of the body, predominantly my work probably talks a lot more about shards and skin. I use clay like skin, probably is the easiest way to explain it. My approach to clay is the same approach that I would take with someone that's wanting to be marked with ink. I look at the person or the form, I see the lines, you're looking at muscle mass, you're looking at the way their body moves. And for me, when I approach clay, I approach it in that same manner. If you're looking at myself, my ink tells my stories, and for me, it's always just been a natural affinity for me to use patterns to tell my story. Tāmoko and tatau are my passion. It's where a lot of my research is and my interests. And I found that clay gave me a different medium where I could hone my skills or flow, I suppose as you call it, and also how I put my designs together. I tend to mix tatau and tāmoko together. The reason that I use moko and tatau together is because I did grow up in a Pacific community, but I also grew up being told that we weren't just Māori, but that we were also Pacific Islanders, and that we come from the Pacific, and that although we're here and we've been here for a long time, this is not where we originate from. And that was always a strong part of my upbringing, and it's just a natural progression to what it's become. I'm still really evolving as an artist, and the themes of my work have changed a lot over that time, so in the last 9 years. But one of the main themes is always talking about the female line of my whakapapa. I come from a female chief, Roa Taupare, and just hearing stories and also seeing the way that my aunties and my mum and my grandmother was, that strength that they hold, it seems to be quite prevalent in my work. And so my work does connect back to home a lot. Although I was brought up in Cannons Creek, Poiroa, my whānau on my mum's side is from the East Coast, Hicks Bay or Wharekahika. And more recently, themes around seeds, again, which connect back to whakapapa. And also just telling stories of us as a people. Being urban Māori, that's something that I was exploring a few years ago, that I would like to go back to. So I guess it's just a mixture of many different interests and passions that have somehow collided. And I'm now at where I'm at as an artist. The title of my upcoming solo show that was due to open on the 19th of April is called He Kākano. It comes from the whakatauki He kore au e ngaro He Kākano e ruia mai I rangiatia, which basically says, I shall never be lost, for I am a seed of rangiatia. That's at the centre of my exhibition. And so all my vessels in some way represent a seed or a person, and just going revisiting back to some of those kōrero or themes of my work. So they're all based around females of my line. In my work I also always have an element of male, purely just for the balance. Everything must be balanced, it must have a female and male element. And so for this exhibition, there is quite a strong male presence but it is within one vessel itself. It is surrounded by very strong female presence in the show. I think the way that people react to other people's artwork is a very personal thing. Any emotion that's evoked, I think, is, I've hopefully done my job. I'm quite a textural person, so for me, being able to run my hands over someone's artwork would be a dream come true, especially in an exhibition setting. And for me, it's wanting to evoke that kind of want, especially with the pieces that are carved. Each mark or each cut or each line is its own story, and it's for me, the vessels are an extension of us and who we are as people. And it kind of connects back to something that I was told a long time ago when I was at Stevei Houkamau by Derek Liddell, which was, Papatunuku, war the first form of moko, and for me that sentence or that kind of statement really was the pinnacle of when my work started to change, and I've always held on to that and used that as at the core of kind of everything that I've created since.